Part 1 Extended. When Eliza Hart stepped off the dusty stagecoach, the first thing she noticed was how quiet the land felt, too quiet, as if the prairie were holding its breath. She smoothed her travel-worn dress and scanned the spread of brown hills and crooked fence posts that made up Jonah Reed's ranch. This was it, the place she had crossed 3 states to reach. The place where her future waited, though it looked nothing like the hopeful sketches she'd imagined while answering Jonah's careful, humble letters. Jonah stood a short distance away, hat in hand, boots scuffed thin. He was taller than she'd pictured, his shoulders strong but burdened, his eyes kind in a way that suggested long practice at disappointment. When he smiled, relief crossed his face so openly that it softened her nerves. "You made it," he said simply, as if the journey had been nothing more than a stroll across town. Eliza nodded, surprised by how steady her voice sounded. "I did." The wedding took place that same afternoon, witnessed by a preacher who didn't ask many questions and a pair of curious ranch hands who lingered near the barn. There was no music, no feast, just vows spoken against the wide sky and a promise exchanged between 2 people who barely knew each other but needed the same thing, a chance to begin again. That evening, Jonah showed her the house. It was small, drafty, and plainly furnished, but clean. He apologized more than once for what he couldn't provide. Eliza listened, then surprised him by smiling. "I didn't come for comfort," she said. "I came for honesty." Something flickered across Jonah's face then, gratitude, yes, but also something else. A shadow that passed too quickly for her to name. Over the next days, Eliza learned the rhythms of the ranch and the limits of Jonah's means. The cattle were few. The soil was stubborn. Bills sat unpaid in a tin by the hearth. Neighbors spoke kindly enough, but always with the same puzzled look, as if they couldn't understand why Jonah stayed on land that gave so little back. At night, Jonah grew restless. He would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, listening. Sometimes he rose and dressed quietly, thinking she slept, and slipped outside. Eliza noticed the dirt on his boots in the morning, dark, damp soil that didn't match the dry ground around the house. One afternoon, while gathering herbs near the far ridge, Eliza felt it, a hollow thud beneath her feet. She froze, then pressed her heel again. The sound echoed faintly, unnatural, as if the earth itself were hiding something. Later, she mentioned it lightly, watching Jonah's hands still mid-motion. His jaw tightened before he forced a laugh. "Old sinkholes," he said. "This land's full of them." But that night, as the wind moaned across the plains, Eliza lay awake and wondered why a man who owned nothing would guard his land like a secret, and why, beneath all his gentleness, Jonah Reed seemed afraid of what might one day rise from the ground he called home.